Hey everybody, this is Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. This is Lars, one of the good German relocating people. How do you call it? Expats?
Expat. Yeah.
Expats. And it's a pleasure to see you again. Today we have a bit of an infotainment thing. The other day I watched a video of my colleague about the things he hates about Belarus, and we're not really talking about criticism or hatred. It's like looking at the same things from the perspective of a local who does relocation and the perspective of an expat that has been relocated to Belarus, So what are the top, let's say, 5 things that we kind of hate most about Belarus, and are they so scary? We'll be appreciating your feedback, guys. Leave it in the comments. So guys, first thing is immigration routine. Lars didn't handle it. I was interacting with Madame. And the first thing on our list is food, basically. Belarusians are famous for having a habit to have a good bite, but something you eat daily, something you get on the street is not what your wife cooks when she puts some effort into it. So Lars, as a good German, you're relocated here. We'll be talking beer, bread, and a few other things that you have in
Sausages.
mind. Sausages, of course.
Yes, the main point is the bread. It's way behind the quality what you expect, especially if you go to a good bakery in Germany or any full grain bread. There are some places like Kripo supermarket where you can have real full grain bread, but bread is a big issue here. So
okay. Did you try any craft things like Bro Bakery guys and some other
yeah,
things?
but this is also no, compared to Germany, not a real bread. So it's
okay.
The bread is the thing I would say it's not as good as in Germany.
And as a German, you have any like favorite pick? Narachansky, black bread or something? Or
yeah, it's a full grain black bread.
okay,
so
maybe we'll put it in the shot if we get there. And what about beers?
Oh, it's okay. So it's no, you have a wide choice. You have craft beer also, and you have this volume beer like Alivaria or something like this. So beer is it's okay.
Let's say, what's your favorite brand among beers?
Actually, most of the time, if I'm buying beer to drink at home, it's Warsteiner, which is brewed,
Alivaria, or
which is brewed, I think, here by Alivaria.
Lidske or Alivaria, they like these fancy words, so when they say Warsteiner, you just sit and think, what was that? Something from Germany or whatever?
Yeah, it's a German brand, but it's brewed here under license.
Yeah.
It's reasonable good. And if you go to Svetofor, it's cheap.
I'm personally into Lidske dark beers, so I'm okay with those. And sausage.
Yes, sausages. So the typical German bratwurst is, of course, better in Germany.
But Frankfurter sausages, right?
Like the small ones, like the Nuremberg ones, and the real size bratwurst. You get some brands here which have a big German sign on it, according German regulations. They are not too bad, but the German bratwurst is better in Germany, of course.
Okay. Any other food comments?
In general, we are very pleased with the food here. So it's a lot of potato food. So we are Germans, we love potatoes. So food is everywhere good.
Catering-wise, are you eating out? Do they serve too much mayonnaise and ketchup in the dish? Is
no,
it tolerable?
No, it's quite good.
Too spicy nor too salty. The
No,
stuff is on the side,
no.
so you can improve the recipe if
No.
you feel like.
No, it's very good. And also the salads are good. So no complaints on food.
Okay, noted.
Especially on the Belarusian food, which is Belarusian. Yes, we have in this issue later on. This is quite good. So
okay, noted. Continuing on our next line, on our previous line, the driving aspects. Anything you point out on the worst side as a German? Anything to improve?
yeah, of course, in Germany we are used to Autobahn, the motorway, and there are some points which are different. First of all, there are too many speed traps, so you really have to watch out for speed traps. They are every 15 kilometers,
and then
they are marked, of course, but.
And Yandex screams you, radar coming.
Yandex is a good issue to put Yandex navigator on, and usually driving on the motorway is quite good. What is disturbing is you have always somebody taking the middle line and going for 90 kilometers an hour. So in Germany you will be flashlighted away to one side if you're going for 10 kilometers on the middle line, but
That's correct.
this is different here. So you have always some people in the middle line, so
Or
you
on
have
the
to wash it out.
left one if there's two. On M1 there's just two lanes.
Yes,
And idiots like me often take over the left one.
of course.
One of the major points that are criticized about Belarus by the Belarusians, and Belarusians, by the way, like to criticize things, we'll talk about this a bit later, is weather. In my subjective feeling, yeah, it's a bit humid and the summer feels hot because there's too much humidity, and in wintertime you read that forecast that says -5 feeling like -15 because of humidity. But you know, it has some charm. You can't have +30 all the time and alligators around you and snakes and everything like it happens on the other continents. So in summer we have summer, in winter we have winter, basically. What do you think?
It's perfect. So in summer you can go swimming, Minsk or one of the other lakes, and also you are in the middle of the city and you can go skiing, 1 hour drive in winter time. So it's not bad at all. And the last 2 winters haven't been too cold. So it's okay. And it's like, okay, maybe it's a little bit harder than in Germany, but one thing in common, it's dark in the night and you have daylight during daytime. And in winter it's cold, in summer it's nice and warm, you have many chances to go swimming. No reason to complain. It's a real winter change, summer change, so it's
spring and
no
autumn
problem.
in between. So
Yeah,
if
but
you're a
spring is
family
very
guy,
short.
You have to wake up early, and it's still dark in winter time because you have to get those kids pushed out of the bed and into the school. So yeah, that has some depressive touch about this. But generally it's tolerable. Generally winter passes once in a while and there's spring and summer and everything is cool and green again. My colleague mentioned not being able to pay in hard currency on a daily basis. I guess I didn't watch that point closely. Now, as a German, you've come here with your euro, you exchanged euro into rubles, and how do you feel? You have your bank card, everything works?
I have a bank card, I have a local bank card or different local bank accounts. Most of the people here pay everything by card. Of course you have to fill up your bank account from time to time, but this is possible. Yes, due to the sanctions, some ways of transfer money are closed, and it's not the direct way, but you will figure out. So it's possible to bring money into Belarus, and also you can bring money over the border. You just have to announce if you bring more than 10,000.
Yeah, $10,000 by the way. And speaking of daily payments, most of them are of course in rubles. Ruble is official payment currency when it comes to shopping big, like car or apartment. We're talking dollars and very rarely euro, even more rare than that cryptocurrency. But again, all these things are possible and all these things are happening legally. So if you see a car for $20,000, the guy doesn't expect to have the equivalent in rubles. Like some of my Americans are getting surprised, like, oh, do they not want rubles? No, they don't want rubles. It's a historic tradition. But there are again legal ways of settling this 20,000 thing for a car or 40,000 for an apartment legally by Belarusian law through a bank, and getting the guy paid in dollars and collecting your item that you have paid for. It's not a problem. And it's quite natural that being a different country, this country still has its currency, which is independent, kind of independent from the Russian ruble. It's a different ruble, Belarusian ruble. And so far it's kind of holding 3 against euro so far. So by the time you watch this video, maybe it's going to change, but not dramatically. It's floating
over
about
the 2 years it changed.
3.1, it changed, it doubled since 2015 to be precise.
So yeah, but I bought my car with exchange 3.8 ruble for 1 euro. Now we are at 3.1, and in between we are down to 2.6, I think.
Now there's just no cars left. Everything else is the same.
Now they are running against the factory.
Okay.
So
Okay, now that you're in Belarus and you are not speaking any Russian, 95% spoken on a daily basis is Russian, and nobody else around is speaking English. What's your experience?
you have to learn Russian. So I'm spending most of my morning with learning Russians. I have a tutor, and I have to say it's a rough task. So it's very hard to learn this language, but you have to do it. You can't expect that people in a shop or in a restaurant speak English to you. So you have to learn Russian.
Something I can suggest from my tour guide experience, in your, let's say, in your experience, in your everyday practice, are many shop assistants, restaurant people, all the guys you encountered, many of them speak or understand some English?
Oh, no, maybe 20% or so, not so much.
So could be better.
I do not complain. You know, it's my fault not having this language.
Because it's an international language. Russian is getting there to the club of the international languages slowly, but we're here, and let's say English still has some potential. So thinking of weather, we can't forget about people who never smile. As I was touring my people, I always find some kind of a reason, like a 15% a year interest loan in the bank, to explain why the people are never smiling, or one of the top drinking countries in the world. Lars, what do you think as a German from a, I would say, fairly unsmiling country? I was told that Austrians smile more often than Germans, but I may be wrong. What's your opinion? Do we go like this always, or we're kind of nice inside?
I think most places are quite nice. You of course you find shops and old Soviet type restaurants where you are treated not as a guest or like a client, so somebody disturbing
as an
the
extra
place.
Piece of work.
Yes,
but
so,
even in central Stolce, there's a nice canteen place where you get your meal for maybe $3. First course, second course, and dessert. And the lady is actually very cheerful, so you have to be in the right time in the right place.
Yes, of course, and but also, especially in Stolce, you can go to a haircutter, and they are totally unfriendly. They said they have no interest to work today, and they have no time. And why are you here? You can go in the city. So this is also possible, but in average, and especially the new private-owned places are very friendly and service-orientated.
But not exclusively. Sometimes private capitalist places are just equally cocked up, and you think that these guys just stepped into this place from GUM or some other Soviet establishment. So
they need some training.
Generally, you'd say Belarusians aren't super smiling, and generally I would add that like that Australian said, normally I walk past my train, car, and I kind of say hello to strange people. Anybody here would put it down as a sign of madness. So we don't really do that. It's not culturally there.
No.
Maybe it's not really grounded by the appropriate weather like it is in Australia. I don't know why, but that's so. But generally Belarusians are quite helpful, right? In spite of their rather unfriendly looks, they might get into your context, and
especially in this term, if you have a dacha and are in a village, if you have some problems with your trimmer or some problem with your tools and machinery, there will be help very easy. So this is absolutely no problem.
Okay.
And also for this issue, some language skills really help.
Yes, that's
because
correct.
Down in the valley, English, German, French, Spanish, nothing helps. You have to speak some Russian.
Speak Russian and speak vodka, that helps.
They are not drinking this much.
Okay. To add to our list of everyday, let's say, complaints of a good foreigner, what do you feel as a capitalist shopping here? You have a family, so you're attending to these matters. You have those little small-sized shoes to buy, clothing, sports clothing.
Yeah, sports clothing is a little bit different here. You actually in big shops you have Sportmaster, which is like a Decathlon, but not as good. But if you want to have brand name shoes like Adidas, Essex, or name it, they are more expensive here. And it's not that you go in a shop and have 20 different pairs of running shoes. You have 10, which is quite enough for 2 feet, but they are more expensive, and sometimes you need to select your personal shoe. Especially if you are a little bit overweighted, you need good shoes.
And they're still made in China, I guess. But the quality may be different for the European region and non-European region. People here feel that from anywhere, from the cosmetics level to the hardware level. And another guy complained, what about everyday stuff or the gadget stuff? You have everything you need, the chargers and the cables you need? And everything.
Yeah, this is not a problem. So if you don't find it in a shopping mall, you go to Wildberries, Ozone, La Moda, or one of these order shops, and then you find everything. So especially as soon as if you come to electronic and stuff like this, and if it's from China, you get everything here.
Okay, so among other problems a family man may encounter here in Belarus is actually schooling, dealing with the school system, which is one tough system. No criticism from my side. Lars, what could be improved versus the German schooling system, which has its flaws, by the way? So
the main difference is, here schools are not be prepared to handle children without perfect language skills.
Let's say firstly with different languages, and secondly with special needs. That's not your case, the second thing. But
so they expect that all children speak fluent Russian, and
they normally do.
It's getting better, but the expectations are quite too high. So the chances to get extra hours in language or stuff like this is quite difficult. And also one main difference is in Germany parents are sharing more information. So you will have a WhatsApp group, and then you know exactly what's going on, and maybe you meet other parents to discuss stuff like this. This is not so common here, is my impression. Okay.
So that would be generally it about the short list of little issues that look strange to a foreign eye, in this case a German eye, two eyes. And if you're interested in that kind of talk, guys, leave your feedback in the comments. We'll be happy to elaborate on whatever things you are reasonably curious about here in Belarus. This was Andrei and Lars from Minsk, and see you in the next video. Cheers!
Okay, so and if you are fluent in German or understand at least some German, look at our YouTube channel, Peppermint News. We have about 200 videos about Minsk, Belarus, living here, living on a dacha, whatever you want, you will find the needed information.
Say them goodbye in Russian.
До свидания.
Товарищи.